going on, YouTube? It's Mike again, back with another video. Kind of got this set up a little differently today. That mount is usually where my GPS goes, so I put it in a different spot. So today I want to talk about parts. How do you get parts? Where do you get parts from? How do you get the best price for parts? What I usually, because I've had people ask me this question, and I get parts from multiple places. Now I have an account with my local supply house here in town that it's not a cash account, it's a credit account. So which is it's vital to me because I don't have to pay up front for the parts that I need. You know, it's 30 days, sometimes 60 days, depending on what company what parts store you're with. I'm with Marcone, and then I have another local one called ASAP I usually go to, but I get a lot of parts online as well, but that's not always a go-to for me because I'll check for my parts place, and sometimes I'll get the parts there cheaper, sometimes you can get them cheaper online. It all depends on, it's good to have multiple places, because if you stick with one place, you're not getting the best deal on that part. So that's the main thing I want to talk about in this video. Now, how did I get started with a parts supply store? Okay, because I go there now and I ask them questions. They've known me for over 10 years. Well, I'm not gonna say that, because since I've been working in this area, they've changed management, they've changed people. So as long as they've been working there, they've known me to come there every so often, at least once a week, So it was easy for me to get an account. All I did was pretty much, hey, I went in there with my old when I was working for my old company and said, I'm starting my own business. I want to get an account ready. So what I had to do was start with a cash account. So pretty much every part that I'm getting, I have to pay for. Now I'm getting at first I didn't get the best deal, and a lot of time, and how I knew that was because like I said, I was still working for my other company. So when I would look up parts and see the price they get it from and the price I would get it from, it was different, which is, that shouldn't even matter to you, because they've been since 1980, so their prices are going to be better than mine for sure. But as I want to say, a couple months that they start seeing the parts that I'm using, or I should say the cash flow, how fast I'm getting parts, how much I'm getting parts, I started to get better prices. And after, was it 6 months, they offered me a credit account for $1,000, and that's how I got set up, which is better when I'm, if you're doing warranty work and you got to get a part and you don't have to pay for it until you get those checks. You got to account for that, which is, I feel like, is vital. If you're paying up front for all the parts, it's like, and you haven't gotten your money yet, that's up to you guys. Some people are fine with that. You got to spend money to make money. I understand that. So yeah, after 6 months, I got my $1,000 credit line, which they quickly raised. I want to say another 6 months. Not say quick, because $1,000 wasn't enough. I was just getting to that limit, paying it off, getting to the limit. So I was just moving so much parts. And that was when I was solely using them, I want to say. I didn't start getting to the online parts yet. Remember, this is all in my first year. So I tell people, every year you got to set goals for yourself. Not even say every year. Whenever you have them in your mind, set them. And, I have long-term goals, but I try to set short-term goals because they're easier to reach. If I say, hey, this year I want to do 10 to 15 to 25,000 more than I did last year, then I have to, do what I can this year now to make sure I do that, can have that for next year. So they raised my account to within 6 months of $2,000. So now I think I'm at $2,000 with them now. which is just right for me. I don't even do more than say 15, 14 a month with parts, depending on how the month goes. Depending on, it's always going to be different. And now since I want to say starting this year, I started getting a lot more parts online. That balance has gone down a lot more because I'm not using them fully for parts. So you got to just know when you look up parts, you have to, there's a lot of sites you can look up parts on now. For Marcone, where you tech guys who know about Marcone, you got to have an account with them. Other than that, you got to look up parts on, Compass, Sears Appliance parts, parts, I think. I don't know all of them, but I only use two, which is Sears and Marcone usually, because that's who I got accounts with. Other than that, I do use Sears too. You do get better pricing if you get an account with them, but I don't use them too much. So that's pretty much it on the parts side. Now you're gonna the thing about having a local parts supply store is better on bigger parts to me, or specialty parts or electronic parts, because I can always take those back if I need to. That's the reason why I don't tell people just go online and order parts, because some parts you can't take back, they don't accept returns, so that you got to use your discretion when it comes to that. Other than that, my next video is going to be on, I want to do something about customer service in this video a little bit, because really the next video I want to bring my my office girl in, so you guys can get like firsthand. I did do the calls my whole first year, so I can tell you, that's essential. It's vital that you pick up the phone, because people will think when you don't pick up the phone that you're unreliable and they can't get to you. So the main thing is, I think once I got somebody in the office, like I said, it stepped me up a lot, because now they look at you more professional. Like, okay, you have somebody working in the office. They don't know who it could be. A lot of people ask, is that your wife? Or sometimes I say yes, sometimes I say no. It all depends on the person. But that's up to you guys. I'm gonna bring her in, and because I don't want to say this is all just smooth, and just because I have good reviews, I know how to calm down a customer when I need to, because some people are just upset. It might not be anything you did, it just might be what they went through that day. So I feel like customer service is gonna push your company to get more work if you have great customer service. This is kind of, I don't want to say common sense, but it's kind of, you're starting a business, you need to have good customer, whether what kind of business it is. But service, if you want to be ahead of the game, that's the main thing I thought to myself. I'm like, I'd have to have an edge out here. I had a lady I did actually on Saturday when I was, I think I did another video on Saturday. Today's Wednesday. She was like, oh, your office girl is very, very nice. And I'm like, and that's rare, because she's like, it doesn't matter. The guys can be great. They can come fix it, no problem. But a lot of times the office person has a slight attitude. So I understand that. The last company I used to work for, still great with them, love them. They, when I was leaving, they just hired a new office girl, and we were getting a lot of complaints about her. And it might just how she talked, or, and it's not like she talked clear. It wasn't that. How she talked. Maybe sometimes with customers she would be snippy. I don't know. As I just would see the comments that people would leave when they were leaving reviews or stuff like that. So to me, it's very, very vital to have good customer service. When you step into people's house, the first thing you have to do is make them feel comfortable. Don't make them feel weird or make them feel like, this guy, can I talk to him? Can I not talk to him? But I'm gonna start doing little questionnaires. People see, what they want to know, but my whole thing is, I want to stress this, is that there's 1,000,001 videos on YouTube that can teach you how to fix these appliances. My channel mainly is going to be about, you know, for the guys that already have their business, for the ones that want to start it maybe, for the techs that already work for a company, you know, just to get some advice from a guy who's been doing it. It's going to be almost 15 years. I don't want to skip 14. It's about 13 now, so I can say officially. But, you know, I'm not that old yet, so by the time I get to 40, or I'll have 20 years in the game, you know, so. But I just want to stress, every day I'm constantly searching for knowledge, just brushing up on it. I can't tell you how many times I've watched the same videos over on YouTube over and over just to have the information recycled in my brain to know I watched this before, you know, that I've seen this before, I've done that before. So when people say, you know, they need training, they look for training, yes, I understand that when you have no knowledge of the basics whatsoever. But if you're a technical guy and you have the basics, or if you know, worked on it, or you went to school, I mean, there's nothing I can really tell you. I've said it before in other videos. I mean, you just need experience, and that comes with time. So the more you're out there, the more you see things, you'll know what to do in those instances. Now, I always tell people, if you go on my Instagram, you'll see the vast things I work on, from old to new. Now, there's certain things I don't work on, and I'm going to say that in this video. I don't work on microwaves. It's not that I don't know how. I used to a lot when I was working for a company. I just don't like to, and I don't choose to. So, and there's not that much, you know, work for them, because a lot of people have countertop microwaves. Now, the ones that are built in, those are the ones that I'm talking about, you know, as far as working on, because people pay more money to fix those, you know, because they cost more money to replace. So I don't do those. Hot water heaters, don't do those either. But you want to, really, that's a plumbing service. That's not more of an appliance service. But you know, people have asked me to do it. No, I don't do it. I mean, my own house yet. But other than that, those are the things that you got to think about too when you start in your own business. Now, if you work for a company, you're gonna work on what you work on. They're gonna train you. They're gonna, you know, that's how it goes. But just, you got to think about where you're at, the market you're in, the demographic, the area, all that, to see what you want to work on. Now, for me, I get a lot of washer, dryers, refrigerators, stoves, dishwashers. I work on all that stuff. Garbage disposals. Don't do wine coolers. So, you know, certain things you got to decide what you want to, or what can you work on, or what have you worked on. And those are, like I said, I'm going back and forth, but for the guys that have been working for a company and want to start their own business, it's I'm pretty sure you have enough knowledge or information to know what you need to do out here. Because when I started my own business, I had a plan. I'm like, before I even leave where I am, I'm gonna make sure I am set. And it worked out just like that. That's why I always tell people, you know, whatever you think of or you speak into existence, that's what it will be. If you say you can't do something, that's what's gonna happen. I never say I can't do anything. There's certain things I just don't want to do. I don't have to do. So I'm gonna also make another video. I did do a video about how many jobs in a day, but I want to expound on that, because my personal opinion, why I say 6, that's just me personally. I don't. When I was working for a company, I was probably always doing 8 to 10 jobs a day, every day. I don't have to do that same amount of work for myself. I can do 6 jobs and make this more money, way more money than I ever did doing 8 jobs, you know, for myself. But then you got to consider coming home. If you have a family, you don't want to just, you know, I want to be financially free and build wealth. I don't necessarily want to just be a rich millionaire, you know. I got a new van because customers, you know, they look at you. I can't tell you, since I got this new van, how people looked at me differently. Oh, that's it. This is your business? That's your van? Oh, that, you know, it's a lot of little things like that as far as, you know, before you first started. When I had my first van, they didn't change much as far as how people perceive me as far as my knowledge or experience. but just as a business owner and me excelling and succeeding. Now, there's people who start out with a nice van and nice wraps and all that stuff and don't know how to do anything. So I understand that as well. But, you know, you can go back on my Instagram and see where I started from, how I started my business, with the little things I got, you know, how my van progressed. Because with the first van I got, like, it was a 1989 Astro Blue, and I had small magnets to big magnets to then me buying another van. Because one thing I had to make sure was that, yeah, I can, if my van goes down, I can probably use my vehicle, but I didn't want to do that. You know, I wanted to invest in my business, put money back into my business. So I went and bought a van, you know, looked and bought a van. Now, it's to the point, what I did with this van here, this van is in my business name. This is a commercial vehicle. You know, I'm trying to build, you know, and I'm trying to show guys like me, young, that you can do this. It's not, I mean, before I was working for a company, I was living check to check, didn't have good credit, didn't have anything in my mind to know what I was doing. But it can all change. YouTube is a very valuable tool to use. So that's pretty much it, guys. Until the next one, take care, like, subscribe if you want to. I'm not trying to push this channel as anything monetary. I just, like I said, I want to start a conversation, have people talk, and, you know, if you have any suggestions on videos or questions you'd like to ask me, just let me know. Thanks.